Greetings from Balavikasa Gurukulam. Today, let us see how Thiruppavai has started influencing people. Goda or Andal is considered among the foremost Tamil poets or saints in the Sri Vaishnava Parampara. This being Dhanur maasa, her works, especially the 30 verses of Thiruppavai, are celebrated and sung across the Vaishnava temples in India. She is credited with two works. One is Thiruppavai and the second is Nachiyar Tirumozi. As a child, she aspired to reach the lotus feet of Narayana and achieved the same at the premier Vaishnava shrine at Srirangam in Tamil Nadu, becoming one with Lord Ranganatha. Her works have been celebrated with various commentaries across eons. Summarizing the gist of Thiruppavai is a single verse.
नीळातुङ्गस्तनगिरीतटे शुद्धमुद्बोध्य कृष्णं पारार्ध्यं संश्रुतिसतः शिरः सिद्धमध्यापयन्ति स्वोच्छिष्टायां स्रजिनिगलितं या बलात्कृत्य पुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः अन्नमयल् புதுவையாண்டாள் அரங்கற்கு பண்ணதிருப்பாவை பல்பதியம் இன்னிசையால் பாடிக் கொடுத்தாள் நற்பாமாலைப் பூமாலைச் சூடிக் கொடுத்தாளைச் சொல்லு சூடிக் கொடுத்த சுடற்கொடியே தொல்பாவை பாடி அருளவல்ல வல்வளையாய் நாடி நீ வெங்கடவர்க்கென்னவது என்ற இம்மாற்றம் நாம் கடவா வண்ணமே நல்கு.
Our birth is incomplete, wasteful, if we as human beings don't attempt to learn the meanings of Thiruppavai, which is depicted as the one which removes all the sins, the one that shows one the path to the feet of the Lord, the one that is the gist of all the Veda and Vedangas, the one that is composed of 5 into 5 plus 5 verses, that is 30 verses. The 30 verses are divided into three sections. Verses 1 to 5, Andal announces the intention to perform a month-long vrata or nombu, a sustained and intense worship of the Lord Narayana, manifesting in the form of Lord Krishna. This section has 5 verses. In these 5 verses, the fact of the vrata or nombu, some details of how it is going to be done, some do's and don'ts are described in the first 2 stanzas, and in the next 3 verses, the glory of the Lord, in whose name the vrata or nombu is being done, is extolled to create the motivation and the energy for carrying on the vrata or nombu and achieve success of the mission. The inner meanings include identification of the goal for each human being, the path to the goal, including do's and don'ts, and the outcome after the goal is achieved. The goal or the objective here is the union with Lord Krishna's lotus feet. The path or the means is using the indriyas to serve or extol him. Tongue used to recite his namas or sing his praises, ears to listen to his good deeds or leelas, hands to pay obeisance to him, nose to smell the sugandha of the Lord's tulasi flowers, eyes to view or enjoy his various different forms. The outcome, Kainkarya or serving him or serving the universe which is part of him to please him. Verses 6 to 15 narrates any good activity that is enhanced when done together by a group of like-minded good people. Every project works with a good team, isn't it? So here is Andal in section 2, collecting her team, a group of 10 young girls like her, to join her in her penance. Section 2 contains 10 verses. Each verse describes how Andal goes to the house of one of the girls, waking her up and imploring her to join the band. Each verse, besides waking up the girl, is rich in poetry describing the environment then, alluding to the Lord in his many forms and glory. The inner meanings of these verses are depicting the importance of satsanga or good peers in coming together for working towards the goal and celebrating the achievement. Some key aspects here include the ability to identify the characteristics of these gopikas in enabling the performance of the vrata and how each of those satgunas are fundamental in our journey to realization. Examples of these satgunas include being totally immersed or devoted in one's objective, being able to tolerate praise or fault finding with equanimity, identifying self as the servant to the Lord, etc. Verses 16 to 20 includes waking up the Lord. Verses 21 to 28 includes his praise and worship. 29 the prayer and 30 the blessing. In the 16th verse, Andal and her friends reach the entrance to the temple of the Lord and besiege the guard there to let them inside. The next four verses gently wake up the Lord and his consort Napinai, and as the Lord wakes up, opens his lotus eyes and walks up majestically to the yard, the next verses sing eloquent praise of the various great qualities and victories of the Lord. The inner meanings of verses 16 to 30 are oriented towards explaining the steps or support structure that one needs to reach the Lord's lotus feet and the importance of Acharya, that is, the teacher or mentor, who can be the best guide towards reaching the goal. As part of this, there is detailing of what is the support structure, their characteristics, and how they form a chain to reach the goal. In addition, the celebrations, once the goal is achieved and the final outcome in terms of continuous servitude is also extolled as part of these verses. Enjoy the blessings of Lord Narayana. Hari Om.